I mean, guys, what can we even say? What can we even say following that quest, bro? It was a movie. It was just a movie. But you know what I find hilarious is that in all we witnessed here in the climax of Penacony's story, they managed to include a throwaway line seemingly confirming Didnt is indeed an emanator of the hunt. Which, I mean, yeah, Didnt players, you guys can rejoice. I'm happy for you guys. Hell yeah, man. Hoyo evidently summoned their fucking inner M. Night Shyamalama ding-dong with that false ending, revealing it's all a dream. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I saw that ending coming. I don't have, like, fucking prophetic powers, but I will say, so, I remember audibly roaring when we were talking to Topaz and Aventurine, and they were like, man, the IPC loved what you guys did so much, they don't even want Penacony no more. I was like, you lying, bitch. Bro, them motherfuckers, them horny for money motherfuckers went after Bellabog. They will do anything, dog. They don't care. There were many twists and turns in the story, with one of my favorite being the elixir of pleasure. Everyone in the dream was just hooked on that pleasure, babies. That shit was funny. Ultimately, however, we gotta pour one out for my dog Mikhail. He went out like a fucking G, dog. The story does ask an interesting question, though. Which pill would you take? Red and experience a harsh reality, or blue and live forever in a sweet dream? But with that said, this was by far the longest installment of the storyline to be expected for the climax. But considering my last recap clocked in at like 35 minutes, my laptop was just sitting here fighting for its fucking life editing the video. I swear I could just hear it going, what the fuck are you doing to me? It's imperative that we start this now. The story starts with the less cool Don Hung being held at gunpoint by Bootil the Galaxy Ranger, who wants the Express to take him to Penacony. Don Hung doubts Bootil is a real Galaxy Ranger, to which Bootil just sort of goes, well, I don't think your real name was. Don Hung proves they are indeed the Astral Express by presenting a jade abacus of a lying oath. Something we received after the Law Fu Stellaron crisis was resolved. It's a beacon that lets us call upon the Xianzhou to assist us once whenever we need it. Realizing this is indeed the Astral Express, Bootil then puts his gun away before being subjected to questioning to prove he's a real Galaxy Ranger. He once again affirms he wants the Express to take him to Penacony due to an emanator of nihility posing as a Galaxy Ranger, and he wants to uncover her intentions. The shot then shifts on over to the devil herself, right at the spot she sent our little adventure time into the Shadow Realm, but she's not alone. Instead, she's being confronted by a group of family members who are collectively the Dream Master, and it's not as if they, as individuals, are a group that call themselves the Dream Master, but rather, the Dream Master controls them all. His physical body has long since ceased to exist, so instead, he uses the 100,000 Oak family members as puppets to act as his eyes, ears, and mouth. The Dream Master asks Acheron to leave Penacony, and she just goes, oh yeah, sure, alright. But before she leaves, ominously states she knows Penacony has deviated from the Harmony's path. We then swap on over to Sparkle playing Dress Up as Robin, who just reassures the people in the dream they're all safe following the amusement park incidents, but also hands out some more detonators on the way, telling them to press it when the Charmony Festival happens. Heading on over to the Trailblazer's point of view, we pick up right where we left off with Firefly. She once again tells us she is Stellaron Hunter Sam. Hey, RIP all the people who thought Sam had his own consciousness. She states she realized the truth once we had our earlier encounter with death. In its eyes, she caught sight of another dreamscape the family tried to keep hidden. It's then she tasked Silverwolf with inviting the Express into the deep sea, had death kill her, and there she found the land of exile. She then managed to return to the hotel with still remarkable fucking quickness, tried to tell us, but you can't go against the script. It wasn't until Acheron's blade broke the fucking world that the Express fell so far into the abyssal depths that Firefly was able to awake them and guide them all to the land of exiles. She then tells us to close our eyes so we too can head off into the land of exiles. But before we get there, we get a flashback showcasing Firefly and Blade. This scene takes place before Penacony's story. As a matter of fact, it's even before the Japella Rebellion. Blade states he has a driver's license, which, I don't know, that's just fucking hilarious. Blade says the fall of the Japella Brotherhood is upon us, and Firefly remarks she doesn't know how she feels about a man with suicidal tendencies driving awfully fast. Interestingly, Blade states that after the fall of the Brotherhood, the Everflame Mansion will take its place, and then Firefly will get an invitation to Penacony. Back in the present, we arrive at the Land of Exiles, or as it's known by its inhabitants, Dream Flux Reef. Wells tells us the monster we know as Death doesn't kill its victims, it just takes them here. As we head up to meet up with Himiko and March, we catch sight of Misha and Clocky and decide to speak with them, wondering what they're doing here. Misha states he lives in Dream Flux Reef, but then also reveals the thing we call Death he calls Sleepy, who despite looking, a bit scary, is actually a well-behaved little feller who's currently being looked after by Gallagher. Sleepy just sort of, takes people in and out of the dream flux. Yeah, nice little ghoul. The interesting thing about this interaction was that Welt could see Clocky, leading him to wonder if he's really that young at heart. Misha offers to be our guide in the reef, and along our tour, we meet a rambling nerd who spouted a whole bunch of bullshit before name-dropping someone that piqued Welt's interest. Madame Rosalina. The nerd tells us Rosalina was a genius who studied Memoria dynamics. Welch then later confirms Madame Rosalina is one of the nameless we were supposed to be looking for, but Misha informs us she passed away during the prison wars. We eventually find March, who's trying to talk down a Pepeshi who's terrified because he thought he was dead. He then passes out from fear like a little bitch. We then take the Pepeshi's body to a bartender March befriended. March gives us some interesting tidbits of information, stating that the Dream Flux Reef existed before even the family arrived, and when it took shape, it was the center of all the dreamscapes of Penacony. We then find Himiko, who's with the most handsome man in the galaxy, Mika, the gravekeeper of Dream Flux Reef. Misha states Micah is a good... I just changed the way I said his name. You know what? Fuck it, we ball. Is a good man who takes care of those who accidentally wind up in this reef, either guiding them back to the dreamscapes or showing them how to live in the reef. We then get this weird interaction right after.
So, guardian of sorts.
Were you talking to me, Mr. Yang?
What was that? I don't know. The only thing that made me think of was Mika's role was similar to that of Sleepy's. They were both called Guardians of the Reef, and the fact they both ferry people in and out of the realms sounds similar, but I don't know, it was a weird fucking scene. Micah says he'll take us to the tombstones he looks after, but before that, takes us to meet Robin, who, she's here too. She's with an old lady and a group of kids. Robin says her interaction with the people of Dream Flux Reef all seem to suggest this shattered dream isn't worth clinging on to, yet Granny counters her by revealing the plights these kids face in the real world. Two of them are orphans, one is blind and the other is autistic. Granny says they aren't being disillusioned by the dream, but the kids are learning to live in it, so that when they eventually return to reality, they can survive. Robin then speaks to us, revealing her voice has been off ever since she returned to Penacony due to things interfering with the path of the Harmony. She tried to talk to the other family heads about it, but they all ignored her, so she started investigating on her own before winding up here, a dream within a dream, being hidden by the family under the lie of death. Robin even states the Harmony resonates better within the reef than it does in the sweet dreams, and states the family has a betrayer, someone who abandoned the path of harmony but is using it to trap people within the dreams. And because this isn't the strong defending the weak, but rather the strong exploiting the weak, Shipe has stopped favoring this world, and thus those whose voices were blessed by them, like Robin, can no longer sing. Wells begins to ponder what sort of power must be involved to do such a thing, reasoning it must even surpass that of an emanator, thus leading him to suggest if a Stellaron is on the planet, but she states she isn't aware of anything of the sorts. Robin then emphatically declares she will not sing at the Charmony Festival due to recent events. We cut to black, showcasing there's 11 hours before the festival, before being shown a flashback of little Sunday and Robin holding a dove. The bird is weak and frail, so they contemplate bringing it with them and placing it in a cage so it can recover. Suddenly, the voice of the Dream Master, who's revealed to be their guardian, wonders what's caught the two's attention. He quizzes the two on what they should do with the bird. Robin states despite the bird's weaknesses, it shouldn't be in a cage, but rather free to fly in the sky. Sunday, on the other hand, reasons if the bird is left to the wilderness for a few more days, it will die. The Dream Master then talks about evolution, and then the kids eventually come to the conclusion that they will place the bird in a cage so that it can one day leave and fly. And lastly, we learn the Dream Master's name is Mr. Gopherwood. That is a fucking name, yeah. We then cut to Sunday and Gallagher. Gallagher proposes they team up so as to help Penacony. However, Sunday demands to see Robin first, so, acquiescing to his demands, Sunday presents Robin. Firefly says she'll take the two to meet not just Robin, but everyone else. Back with the group, Micah showcases the 3 tombs he looks after, with 2 of them bearing the names of the nameless Rosalina and Tiernan. Micah says when Penacony was just a prison, the Trailblazers were the heroes who saved Donna, and as such, their names will go down in history. Micah confirms Rosalina died in the war while investigating the Memoria, whilst Tiernan also died in the war. He was a gunslinger who died in battle when he went on an exploration and he became surrounded by the swarm and went out in a fucking blaze of glory, I bet. As for the third slate, it has no name written on it, but then Gallagher interrupts, revealing it belongs to the Watchmaker, who despite being alive when the Dreamflux Reef was created, insisted on having the tombstone erected as he too will die someday. Gallagher then reveals to us he's not only the deputy of the Watchmaker, but the founder of Dreamflux Reef, which makes him... that motherfucker's old. He's aged gracefully, though. Oh yeah, and he's also, he's a history fictionologist, but swears everything he told us was true except for the part of the family welcoming him back. Himiko confirms his story matches with Micah. Gallagher then says he summoned everyone here to deal with the pressing matter concerning Penacony. A Stellaron. Welch wonders how this could be possible, given there's no external signs of a crisis. Gallagher then reveals the only way the sweet dream of Penacony can exist is through 2 methods. A, an emanator of remembrance or enigmata, but given the family has neither of those, they went with option B, Stellaron, baby. The entire planets of Penacony is the Stellaron disaster. Gallagher reveals the Stellaron came about when the Watchmaker and his crew tried to rebuild Penacony following the war. It was during the war that the Stellaron was actually introduced to Donna, and while all the Nameless were very much against the idea of using the Stellaron, ultimately, when Rosalina and Tiernan died, Mikhail had to join the front lines, and this led to those who wanted to use the Stellaron to activate it in secret. It then leaked into the Memoria, and then was supposedly sealed later on. Then the family helped Mikhail with the war, and rebuilds Penacony under the guise of the Harmony. Following the rebuilding of Penacony, the Watchmaker, who at this point was still completely in the dark, sent out mass invitations across the universe, inviting all to come to the Land of Dreams. Gallagher then reveals the Stellaron was never actually sealed, but rather, it took a different form in the dreamscape. Gallagher then coldly reveals the cost to maintain the sweet dreams, and its human lives. The beautiful dream is built on the decay of spirits. Once someone enters the dream, they succumb to the toxic elixir, known as pleasure, baby. This elixir just pretty much makes it so they never want to leave, and as such, their souls become fed to the cost of the sweet dream. Penacony had become a new kind of prison, more impenetrable than the last one. Gallagher states by the time they realized all this, it was too late. The family had too much control of Penacony and were crushing those who dared to speak. So he sought refuge in the reef and created Sleepy, whose real name is Dormancy. Then he sent out all the invitations to the different factions, hoping to amass a powerful enough group to deal with a Stellaron, but also to lure out the traitor from within the family. There is no Watchmaker's legacy. This shit was just a lie. Gallagher then states, the only one among them who knows where the Stellaron is Sunday, so we go to question him, and then he reveals the Stellaron is the entirety of the Grand Theater itself. Sunday then reveals the one who activated the Stellaron, the traitor of the family, might be Mr. Gopherwood. Bro, that is not an intimidating name. What the fuck? We gotta keep calling him the Dream Master from here on out. The Mr. Gopherwood is also the one who took in Sunday and Robin when they were kids, realizing their potential and raised them like his own. Regardless, Robin affirms that despite this revelation, she still won't sing, but it pains her to see Gopherwood it pains her to see the Dream Master stray from the path of the Harmony. Sunday then states he and Robin will confront the Dream Master to ensure he really is the traitor, and if he is, then Sunday will join them in their crusade and fight against them. Weld states he'll join Sunday and Robin in their meeting, but in private to us, informs us he's not even sure what the fuck they can do if shit turns sideways. The Dream Master not only has a Stellaron, but the backing of the entire power of the harmony, and with Acheron gone, there's not really anyone who could hope to match him. Welch clarifies, part of the reason he's going is to back Robin, as something doesn't feel quite right about Sunday. Himiko then asks Gallagher about the final Nameless legwork, to which Gallagher states he left something behind for the future Nameless that would come across Penacony, and it's a real legacy. He then confirms Mikhail was indeed the Nameless, full name Mikhail Shar Legwork, the Watchmaker. His real legacy is a dream bubble that was meant only for future Nameless members, but when we check it, there's nothing there. Gallagher becomes annoyed at the old bastard, but Himiko reasons there's something there, we just haven't found it yet. 10 hours until the Charmony Festival hits our screens, and we jump to the dynamic duo from the start of the quest, Boot Hill and less cool Dan Heng. Dan Heng asks to check in as a member of the Nameless, and Boot Hill just he looks the attendant dead in her face and says this.
And you are...
Me? I'm Pom Pom, a new Nameless who's also with the Astral Express.
He's my fellow trailblazer.
I don't know why, it was just so fucking funny to me. The attendant tries contacting the Nameless within the dream, but to no avail, so we're stuck at the reception desk. Boot Hill and Dan Heng just bond over some shit, before going back to the parlor car to meet with Black Swan, who Boot Hill was supposed to meet earlier. Boot Hill demands Black Swan tell him everything she knows about Acheron, but then she just kind of goes, why don't we let Acheron do it herself? Come on in, Acheron. Boot Hill, feeling the sting of betrayal, is not very happy, going so far as to call Black Swan a shirt bag. Oh my god. Acheron reveals she had Black Swan arrange this meeting after she helped her leave Penacony after she was exiled by the Dream Master. Black Swan promptly clarifies she was stalking her. After hearing all this, Boot Hill responds in the only way he knows how. Clock and Glock, bitch. Acheron just kind of says, hey, let's put that little fucking thing down, dude. She asks instead to be warp jumped out of the Asdana star system, telling Dan Heng his friends are safe, but they need their help, while telling Boot Hill the reason she took the moniker of a Galaxy Ranger was because she needed a Galaxy Ranger, but they don't really, the motherfuckers don't really carry cell phones, and they don't have a public number she can try. She needed a Galaxy Ranger to fulfill a promise and return his relics. We cut to Acheron with him on some unknown location in a flashback. She asks when the rain will stop, and he just says it's been raining nonstop for decades, bitch. The hands we see emerging from the water here are called Sin Thirsters. They came from the Nihility and moved towards it. However, before they were these purposeless phantoms, they were once the man's companions, Galaxy Rangers. Following the Galaxy Rangers taking down the Lord Ravager Zulo, many died, but Galaxy Rangers are as determined in death as they were in life. He's watching over their souls as they move on, because they don't deserve to be reduced to puppets of IX. Acheron asks why he does this, seeing as these Sin Thirsters are no longer his companions, but he responds, even if it's pointless, it must be done, before concluding that when he dies, someone will place flowers at his grave. We jump on over to Robin's POV, but are swiftly intercepted by Sunday's past job of a confessor, I guess he was. I don't know, the confessions vary. Some dude just dropped some food on the floor but still tried to serve it, and then the next dude just sold his fucking kids to come to Penacony hoping he'd become rich and would be able to buy them back. That is, Jesus, that is quite the fucking gamble. So yeah, make of that what you will. The final person is where things gets interesting, however. An arrogant Papeshi makes a half-hearted attempt at playing the confessant and just says he wasted some pizza and so glad at breakfast. Papeshi says the family attempting to judge him is laughable, considering all they've done. Doubt then creeps into Sunday's minds following the interaction, as he then begins to wonder who can judge the strong as they use the weak to hide their crimes. Robin then states for the 3,000th time she's not going on the stage no matter what, but interestingly, states that without the chord master, the harmonious choir, or the embodiment of Shipe, will not arrive. Sunday and Robin then talk to some people in the dreamscape hooked on that pleasure, baby. They all then go on about how great the sweet dream is and how they never want to leave. The only noteworthy one was the old man who's on life support in reality and on the brink of death, yet in the dream he can live normally. However, soon they confront Robin? Sparkle sort of just like trolls them a bit, states she knows Robin won't go on the stage, which, I mean, what, dude, what is this bitch's intelligence network? This is, it's getting ridiculous. She then hands the two of them some more detonators, because, fucking why not? Shortly before the Dream Master arrives, Sunday and Robin once again discuss the dream world, with Robin expressing discomfort at all of this. She states the dream doesn't offer happiness nor erase the pains of reality, it's just escapism. Sunday counters by mentioning the old man from earlier, who likely wouldn't be alive without all of this. Then Robin just sort of goes, yeah, but nigga could just go to a hospital, old man. Where he's free to just like stare at a fucking window in a comatose state for like 16 hours a day till he dies. She wonders if Penacony is taking people's futures away from them. Sunday coldly remarks, not everyone has a future. He brings up the little dove they looked after when they were kids. Right before Robin left Penacony, she let the bird free. Sunday then reveals, however, shortly after she left, the bird crashed to its death. Robin uses bizarre logic, stating it was the right move, because it didn't deserve to live in a cage forever, as it belongs to the sky, even if it can't fly. Well, alright, bitch. You don't gotta worry about that no more, because it's in the fucking sky now. It's a matter of fact, it's so high up in the sky, it's higher than every other living bird. So if she just, if you saw a zebra with like 3 broken legs and it could never walk again, and she'd like, you're not gonna take care of the zebra forever? Alright, nigga. Sunday then asks if a bird that can't really fly belongs in the sky, and Robin asks if he's implying the same works for humans. Sunday then answers with the longest yes in human history, to which Robin points out in the worlds he envisions, only the strong would be able to determine the future. Sunday just sort of goes, you're damn right, bitch. Sunday clarifies not everyone is meant to have a bright future for whatever reason, be it internal or external, and Robin quickly adds, that's why it's the duty of the strong to guide the weak to that future. That is what harmony is about. Sunday ultimately states that harmony is idealistic. So long as survival of the fittest prevails, the strong will always be strong, and the weak always weak. Robin is astounded at Sunday's logic and asks if not harmony and sheepy that will guide them towards that future, where the weak can live, then which eon? We then get another scene with the two as kids, where Robin remarks if she could become a chord master, then she'd like to summon Dominicus, the harmonious choir, and little Sunday agrees with her choice. Robin asks how she can become a chord master, to which Sunday responds, she must become a star. A snap back to the Trailblazer, Himiko suggests they confront the Stellaron head-on, should Welt's negotiations go awry. In order to get to the theater, however, they go with March's plan of entering some fucking TV auditions. We then ask Smiley here if she wants to join us, and she goes, yeah, I'd love that. We do some fun stuff before running into Argenti, who, man, why didn't they voice him, bro? This whole fucking sequence was so awkward because he just wasn't voiced. Bro, I thought my game was broken legitimately. He then asks to square up because, that's just, he loves fighting. We eventually reach the Grand Theater and find our old pal Sunday waiting to congratulate us. We're a bit confused, however, as he should be negotiating right now, but he reveals negotiations have ended and that neither he nor the Oak family can relinquish the Stellaron. Sunday states Penacony does indeed require change, but not that kind of change. Himiko then inquires about the whereabouts of Welt and Robin and asks Sunday for a debrief of the meeting. Sunday obliges and we get to watch the meeting. The Dream Master is seemingly shocked that someone wants to use the Charmony Festival for their own nefarious purposes. Robin clarifies that if the Charmony Festival goes ahead as planned, the song combined with the Stellaron's powers will be broadcast to all of Penacony, and everyone on the planet will enter a dream from which they cannot awaken. The Dream Master also surmises this individual must be a high-ranking member of the family, and asks Sunday if he has any suspects. Welt then intervenes and wonders how it's possible the Dream Master could not have known about the Stellaron, so the Dream Master, eager to prove his innocence, asks Sunday to do the voodoo questioning shit and answers some questions. And from here, I'm just gonna play the whole scene because it is so fucking good.
Oh, triple-faced soul, please sear his tongue and palms with a hot iron, so that he will not be able to fabricate lies and make false vows.
Let us begin.
There is nothing else to prepare.
Understood. Question. Have you devoted your life to your god, never worshipping other gods?
Naturally.
Do you love your god as you do yourself, always heeding their admonishments?
Naturally.
Have you strayed from the path expected by your god, betraying their name?
Never.
Have you ever been inordinate with your asks of your god, coveting more than the foundation of the creation itself?
Never.
Then, a final question. Do you swear to fulfill all vows, past, present, and future?
With the Eon as my witness, if I do not deliver on my words, or if I renege on my vows, may I be cursed in accordance with divine law.
They have seen your faith, and have endorsed your faith. With this, it can be evidenced...
Just a moment.
What is it, Mr. Yang?
I have another question I hope to have answered. To my understanding, the family's harmony and prosperity have never relied on so-called divine laws. The god you both mentioned, are they truly Shipe?
Mr. Yang should know that those belonging to the family toil together as if they were kin, embracing solidarity and unity under their light. All duplicity is laid bare before the harmony. Such a delicate and complex symphony. Which other god could perfectly harmonize this, if not for the Great One, Shipe?
Perfectly harmonize. Therein lies the problem. It isn't an outsider lurking in the shadows who changed the harmony, but a dissonance that has surreptitiously emerged from within this very symphony itself. In the distant past, there existed an Eon. With one flick of the wrist, they crafted the laws of the cosmos. Their followers formed the Beyond the Sky Choir, spreading solemn and reverent hymns throughout the universe. Later, they fell. The route traversed by this Eon clashed with the harmony, ultimately being absorbed and fused into it. The chorus that once reverberated across worlds fell silent, and when it echoed anew, it was transformed into the hymn of harmony. Though an Eon may perish, paths with no masters still linger. In the all-forgiving harmony, echoes of bygone dissonance may subtly arise.
Mr. Yang, being overly astute can be a detriment, especially when you find yourself alone and without allies.
So this is how it is.
For the sake of our grand cause Sunday, please afford these two an opportunity to rest.
What?
Sorry, Robin. It's just you. I did not wish for you to know this. It's a pity that things have turned out this way.
So, this is the true reason I can't sing? The shadow that envelops Penacony is actually...
We were never children of the harmony. Our ideal paradise could not have been crafted by Shipe. True bliss can only be guaranteed by the one who transcends the many. Within the foundation of law, humanity establishes civilization, and through harmony, we obtain order.
I thought Welch was gonna send him to the Shadow Realm, bro. I prayed for them. I prayed for them so fucking bad. Where's his cane, nigga? When we cut back to the gang and fucking Smiley here, Himiko expresses disbelief at the fact that remnants of the Order still linger on Penacony. Sunday states Robin and Welt are safe, but they're just, they're just thinking about stuff in timeouts. As Sunday then comments on the nature of the universe, stating bloodshed, victors, and losers are why the universe needs order. Himiko questions if one can really resurrect a dead Eon. It's never been done before, to which Sunday just says, let's talk first. He then drags us into his inner worlds, where he hopes to showcase the decisions that, led to him going down this path. I don't know, it's mostly just like him rationalizing the entire world in the lens of why order is needed. Only thing worth noting is Robin got shot in the neck while in some war-torn world. She had hoped to help out, but, caught a stray bullet instead. She didn't tell Sunday, so the Dream Master did. This is also why she wears the neck covering. But it's this very example, among others, that Sunday uses to showcase why the strong defending the weak, or harmony, is just a farce. This is why the harmony cannot save Penacony, but the Order can. Sunday goes on an especially long spiel about how he wants to unite everyone under the banner of the Order so they can experience happiness for the rest of their lives and never have to be bound by their weaknesses again, and can live to be happy instead of work to survive. He wants to create the Matrix. My nigga, that is what he wants to do, the perfect utopia. Firefly asks what the price to attain all this is, and Sunday says, it's just a small price of everyone sleeping until the end of the fucking heat death of the universe. Firefly questions the logic of forsaking reality for a dream, but Sunday states they aren't forsaking, but rather transcending. Yo, Sunday he's fucking cooking right now, dog. Firefly then counters that if no one conquers their demons and overcomes challenges, then the meaning of that aspect of life is lost on them. Yeah, you hear that? Little 3-year-old Timmy who's blind, deaf, dumb, quadriplegic, orphaned, got stage 3 brain cancer, Down syndrome, been robbed 8 times, and got shot 27. You gotta beat all that shit, otherwise you don't know the fucking meaning of life. But then beautiful Sunday says escapism isn't bad. It's okay to escape that dreadful reality for this perfect one. This is why we sleep. Because we don't want to awaken from our dreams. He's cooking, I'm afraid. Firefly then says, regardless, people should be able to decide for themselves as opposed to the strong deciding for them. We then step up to the plate to give our own answer to Sunday, which is apparently something Mikhail told us. We cut to an earlier scene showcasing us meeting Misha. We're in a realm from the earlier dream bubble left by Mikhail and ask Misha to guide us through it because Himiko is confident he'll know what to do. As he leads us further in, he begins to realize he grew up in this mansion, but is unsure how that could be, given he's confident he grew up in Dreamflux Reef. Later on, he speaks of his grandfather Mikhail, and we wonder if Misha is the grandson of the watchmaker Mikhail, but conclude it's probably a coincidence given the watchmaker was never said to father any kids. Misha says Mikhail was a seafarer who had all sorts of adventures out at sea. The last time Misha saw him was quite some time ago. Mikhail left for an adventure, and Misha hasn't seen him since. As we keep heading further in, more memories begin to fill Misha's mind before eventually we enter a study and find Clocky. Misha then remembers that his grandfather announced to him he was going to embark on a dangerous mission to find the source of the rising seawater that was consuming the world Lukasha. Despite no one saying anything, they both knew this journey would be his last. Misha asked to join him, but Mikhail said no. Misha has a different sea to explore, the Sea of Stars. Mikhail was friends with a group of Nameless, and he had them take Misha aboard the Astral Express. Before departing, Mikhail gave Misha his most precious treasure, a pocket watch. Misha then takes us to a room of clocks and says he was born and raised in it, but clarifies the entire dream bubble itself is his home. Himiko then clarifies that no one aside from the Nameless can see or interact with Clocky because it's a hidden message for the Nameless left by someone. Then Himiko further reveals no one outside the Nameless has seen or interacted with Misha either, and he then reveals he dwells in this bubble. He was supposed to stay here and wait for the Nameless, but, shit happens, and he and Clocky left it to venture out into the dreamscape, hence why the Watchmaker's Legacy dream bubble was empty, because all its contents ran off. It's kind of cute. Misha then reveals he is the watchmaker Mikhail Legwork, but not exactly. He is a reflection of a much younger Mikhail before he blazed the trail. The watchmaker then takes over, and we begin to hear his voice come from Misha, and he further explains Misha is the reason the Trailblazer ended up here after Sparkle knocked them out earlier. Misha's task was to guide them to find the legacy, and here they are. Mikhail asks for their help to fix Penacony, but states ultimately it's their decision, as the path for the Trailblaze is never paved by others. Mikhail then gives us his pocket watch and a hat and asks us to enter this door to hear his story. The story is a simple one. Misha's grandfather was indeed a seafarer who left on a dangerous journey to save Lushaka. He hands Misha a compass and tells him to board the Astral Express. As he got older, he began to go by Mikhail instead of Misha like his grandfather. He eventually became a regular Nameless by the then navigator, Amanzun, before eventually deciding to disembark in the Estana star system with Rosalina and Liernin to help out with the war. However, before departing, he was gifted Amanzun's hat because he was his best student. On Penacony, we witness Micah questioning Mikhail's decision to join the front line as an adult, and eventually we see him as an old man, lamenting Penacony's current state of affairs. He informs Gallagher they will organize a festival using the Watchmaker's legacy to lure people in from all over the universe. Mikhail makes sure to tell Gallagher to send an invite to the Astral Express. As an even older man, Mikhail is conversing with Clocky. He asks him to take him to Dreamflux Reef, where along the way he chuckles at the realization that what his grandfather gave him was not a pocket watch, but was rather a compass he used to guide his sea voyages. When they finally arrive at the reef, this scene plays out.
So now, it's up to you to decide your next destination.
My next destination? What's that supposed to be? I've been following you! Misha? You're acting weird today. If you're feeling down, we can just do what we usually do. With the clockwork.
No, I'm not feeling down. As for clockwork, yeah, it resolves all problems in this dream. So, do you know what clockwork actually is?
I'm not quite sure.
Well, everyone gets lost at times. They may hesitate and doubt which way to go. That happens in this dreamscape and beyond. But don't worry. Everyone goes through moments of uncertainty and hesitation. Eventually, they gather the courage to make bold decisions. Whether it's calming, joyful, angry, or sad, all they need is a little nudge to take that step toward where they truly belong. I'm leaving that little nudge with you, and I hope you'll share it with others. Such is the essence of clockwork, the will of the trailblaze. Clocky's hands spin around non-stop, indicating confusion, frustration, and weakness. But ultimately, people still need to move forward.
Just like your hands, always pointing ahead. This is where my journey ends. From now on, it is your path to walk.
Trailblazing means taking paths your predecessors forswore and venturing even further. The Penacony in Mikhail's dreams does not belong to order.
It's just so peak, man. It's just so peak, bro. I'm gonna go Kale, dog. Sunday is then dumbfounded that Shippe would glance at Penacony, but then invites them all to settle this once and for all on the grand stage of the Charmony Festival. We hype ourselves up to face Sunday, but Firefly reveals she's not coming because she has her own battle to fight, as in the script she was given. She is to die 3 deaths, and so far she's only suffered 1. She's heading off to experience the 2nd death right now, but it's the 3rd death that could prove the most fatal, as that's the one that sees her trapped in the dream forever. We return to old Blady driving the car with Firefly, and Blade states it's a shame he doesn't get to experience 3 deaths. Firefly says she doesn't fear death, but it's important that we choose where we die. She says she wants to die as a human, not as a part of the Iron Cavalry, nor as a Stellaron hunter, but as Firefly. We then get a lone Gallagher scene who's with Mikhail's body. He says he feels the end of the sweet dream drawing near, and that all you nameless folks are nuts. However, Gallagher then states that while Mikhail won't be able to witness it, neither will he, given he's something fictional that's been seen through, and as such he will cease to exist. OG then finishes off the scene by stating he can't wait to join Mikhail in hell, and heads off. We get another Acheron and him scene where we learn Acheron's taste is starting to go, as she couldn't tell she was biting into spicy berries. Acheron then tells the story of a girl she met on Orkron. In the scene, she never says who the girl is, but the girl is Freeboss in Acheron's character story. She was once a nameless who wanted to go down a deeper path than a trailblaze, and thus landed on Nihility, because you know, that shit's gotta be fun. She eventually entered IX knowing she wouldn't return and experience a lifetime worth of memories before she self-annihilated into nothingness. Acheron fears losing her memories with Freebass, as some of her other memories have started to go. Acheron pretty much just talks about how she has a plan to kill IX, but the old man just laughs at how the act in and of itself is nihilistic. Acheron once more asks when the rain will stop, to which he responds, only when the sorrows of the departed quiet down. With 4 hours left till the Charmony Festival, we cut back to the crew on the Express. Black Swan reveals the family once held a festival on a planet called That's Not Happening, bro. And following its conclusion, everyone on the entire planet joined the family. This is what the family are attempting to do on Penacony. That's part of the reason they let all the factions stay on Penacony, but had to banish Acheron, because she's an emanator of nihility, not really affected by other paths, but rather, she infiltrates them. Don Hung states if the family does this, it'd be akin to declaring war against half the factions of the cosmos, and as such they have no reason to do this, to which Acheron remarks he'd be correct if harmony is what they served, but she goes on to state that the harmony in Penacony is impure. Black Swan then continues that during the Swarm disaster, 2 eons were lost, Tazaronth and Enna the Order, who was absorbed by Shippe the Harmony. Don Hung expresses disbelief at the thought that remnants of the Order are trying to resurrect their fallen eon. Don Hung then states he has a plan, but then stays silent for a bit, to which Acheron, but especially Boot Hill's face is just what is this? Boot Hill picks up what Don Hung is putting down. He wants to use the Jade Abacus to call on the Xianzhu Lafu. I don't think I said that right. To help descend unto Penacony, but when Boot Hill warns that he can only use it once, Don Hung simply replies, he knows. We get to see Sunday and the Dream Master, who I guess has been the Raven the whole time. The Dream Master informs us that word of their secrets have begun to spread around the cosmos. The IPC ships are arriving en masse to Asdana. The Dream Master asks where the Chord Master Robin is, to which Sunday just says, he's gonna take her place because she won't sing for the Order. Sunday then states, if necessary, he will kill Robin if 2 Chord Masters cannot exist. The Dream Master allows Sunday to act as the Chord Master, as he and Robin were both twins born into the Order, so it doesn't really matter. The Dream Master tells Sunday to go ahead and seize the power of the Harmony, and then, the birdie just dies. We jump back to Himiko and friends, where we arrived at the Grand Theater, but notice, despite the festival about to begin, it's completely empty. Sunday then speaks on, a speaker or some shit, He says before the festival can begin, they must watch a 3-act play about Penacony's history and eons. The play then commences and it's... I'll try and cover it later in another video, I just can't not be fucked right now. We finally reach Sunday, who welcomes us to the theater, the home of the Stellaron. Himiko reiterates once more that permanent sleep is not happiness, and a cage is still a cage. March states everyone would be puppets in this world, but then Sunday clarifies he has no intention to resurrect an eon. Where the fuck did you guys get all that idea from? But rather, create a universe free from eons. But Himiko points out even in this paradise, Sunday would still be above all. Then Sunday reveals he successfully summoned the harmonious choir, the embodiment of Shipe Dominicus, Dominicus, Domkis, Dominus, Dom. Then the most beautiful boss fight ever ensues, but in about 3 seconds flat, we put him down like a little bitch. However, Domicus gets back up, but it's at this very moment Dan Heng and Jin Yuan double team us, put it down permanently, and we awaken in reality to March. But before we meet up with the crew, are intercepted by Black Swan, and it's here Black Swan refers to Jin Yuan and the Harmonious Choir as emanators. Again, happy for all the Jin Yuan players. You guys fought hard for this one. She states she pulls everyone out of the dream because emanators fighting, even in a dream, are no joke. We meet Boot Hill, who's with Dan Heng, and he explains he came to Penacony looking for someone, but can't seem to remember who, and neither can Dan Heng. We head off to join Welt and Himiko, who are conversing with Jin Yuan. He says there will soon be peace talks on Penacony with different factions, with the Xianzhou mediating the discussions. Himiko comments, Sunday's resolve to showcase the Order is better than all the other paths through a fair fight is remarkable, as if he wanted, he could have killed all of them without lifting a finger. We then learn Sunday is wanted by the IPC and will answer for his crimes at a trial in Pierpoint. We head to the lobby where we meet our resident IPC lackeys, and Topaz states the IPC will no longer seek control of Penacony, but rather just assist in rebuilding it. I still can't believe it. But you know what's even more unbelievable? Dr. Ratio stating the Intelligentsia Guild's ingenious society are working together to study the flow of memoria in the dreamscape. Screwlum adds that as a result, this partnership will have to force the simulated universe to take some time off. And if that wasn't enough, the IPC in Garden of Recollection will further be funding the partnership. Alright bro, if you say so. And thus, with Penacony safe and sound, we head to the Express to discuss where our next destination will be. We're then informed that Black Swan and Boot Hill will be traveling with the Express for some time because they want to. We gotta run down to future planets, and if you voted anywhere but the water planets, then you're not loved by your parents. We speak with Black Swan before warp jumping to our next planet and give her back the empty light cone she gave us a while ago. While sifting through our memories within the light cone, she finds something that shocks her, but tells us not to worry about it yet. She then states that we were the only ones to witness Penacony's story in its entirety, and as such, she will reveal what she saw at some point in the future when we're sleeping. She gives us some final words about, some shit, and we roll credits. But then, all of a sudden, Black Swan reveals the harrowing truth to us. We lost the fight against Sunday, we failed, and no one survived. Black Swan tells us not to panic though, as there's still some time to save everyone, but first asks us to identify the flaw in this entire story, and the answer was Misha. Given Misha is an entity who could only exist in a dream, how then did Misha greet us when we first arrived on Penacony? The answer, it was all a dream. And even as she tells us this story, we're still in the dream and need to wake up. We then awaken where it all started. We run into Acheron once more, and she tells us this place is between Enna's dream and reality. It exists for those who awaken from Enna's dream. From the moment we entered as Dana, we were already affected by the Stellaron, hence our first run-in with Acheron. The Order hasn't exactly put everyone into a deep sleep, but rather blended dream with reality, making them indistinguishable from one another. So thus, while someone may think they've awoken, in reality, they're trapped within the Order's dream. That's why the ending was so perfect to Penacony, because in Enna's dream, everyone's wishes comes true. It's always the best ending. they'd all still be in the dream if not for Acheron, who again isn't affected due to her being an emanator of nihility. Black Swan only realized they were dreaming when she saw the fatal flaw in the Trailblazer's memories. The only reason there was a flaw in this world, however, was because it wasn't made by a god, but rather a human, and once you realize you're dreaming, you can break free from it. Sunday was successful in his plan in replacing the harmony with order, and as such, the entire Asdana star system is currently the puppet of a dead Eon. Black Swan guides us to the other strong-willed individuals who have awoken, with the first being Robin, who awoke all on her own and guided the others here with her singing. She states she too awoke after seeing something impossible. What was it, you might be wondering? Watch this. The little dove in Sunday scene plays out once more, and this time, little Sunday says the bird should return to the sky because it doesn't deserve to live in a cage forever. Robin immediately realized this was some bullshit. Because Sunday is not that wholesome, man. That is fucking something, dude. Robin reveals the dream is currently supported by the fact that everyone in the Asdana star system wants to dream, so thus the only way to break it is to make everyone want to wake up. Dan Heng and Boot Hill then join us, and then Black Swan reveals the other members of the crew are also awake, but they're just fucking somewhere else. Currently, all those awake are creating little notes of discord in Enna's dreams, but it's not nearly enough. The impossibility of getting millions of people to want to wake up then appears lessened when Acheron reveals right now everyone in Asdana is sharing one dream. So all they need to do is lure enough people with free will to the star system and hope their wills will be enough to awaken everyone from the dream, because when they get to Asdana, they're also going to be in the shared dream. Dan Heng ponders then to use the Jade Abacus, but Boot Hill tells him no, as this task is an easy one. All they need are the Galaxy Rangers. The earlier relic Acheron returned to Boot Hill is a burial artifact only for the Galaxy Rangers. When it shines brightly, and it indicates a Galaxy Ranger has fallen, and despite the Galaxy Rangers never communicating with one another and being loners, when one of them dies and that light shines, Lord have mercy on the soul who did it, for countless Galaxy Rangers will descend unto the beacon with a singular shared purpose: to hunt. Boot Hill is more than confident the free will of the Galaxy Rangers will be enough to awaken everyone from the dream. Once Boot Hill does that and everyone begins to awaken, Robin will then guide everyone to reality with a special harmonious tune. Then Acheron will destroy the sweet dream that's being maintained by the harmonious choir, whose power matches that of an emanator. Acheron then pulls us aside and states the reason any of this is happening is because of Firefly. She awakened from the dream before anyone, gathered information about the remnants of the Order, and shared it with everyone. This awakening was her second death, and as for her third death, given Firefly is a stowaway who entered the dream by her own machinations, currently her only way out of this dream is a real death, so they cannot fail here, or she will be doomed to stay in this dream forever. We cut back to Acheron and the Old Man, where they state they've managed to guide all the Galaxy Ranger souls beyond. However, despite this, it's still raining. It should have stopped raining when the regrets of the departed faded away, yet it continues to rain, to which she says perhaps it's because someone's regret still lingers. She then reveals what a Sin-Thirster really is: phantoms that emerge from IX, believing they have control over their destiny, but are doomed to repeat the mistakes they made when they were living. She then eerily states that Sin-Thirsters have traveled with her for quite some time, which is confirmation to the Old Man that he has long since died. Acheron has been watching over him, as she is the watcher of the Acheron River. She guards the path of nihility and guides souls who don't want to join it back to this side. The man asks if he will see his companions again. She responds he will indeed, and recounts his life. The man is Tiernan, the nameless gunslinger who supposedly died on an expedition when he eventually became surrounded by the swarm. However, in reality, he didn't die. He and other Galaxy Rangers fought like hell and barely lived. Following this, he tried time and time again to return to Penacony because Mikhail was there all alone, but the family kept rejecting him. She then gives instructions to Tiernan on how to reach the other side successfully, and suddenly, we are in the worlds created by IX. She's guiding us out of it, But before we depart, she asks us the same questions from earlier, and we answer correctly to each one of them, because we didn't have a fucking choice. Acheron then reasons that because IX casts a shadow over all, what exists behind IX must be the most beautiful source of light in the universe. And it's that source of light that we and everyone else must pursue. Back to Tiernan, just before he was about to set off, he asks for something pointless. Acheron's name, to which she responds, is raiden bosenmore May. Following this, the plan finally takes root.
The Golden Dream is getting restless. In the coming long nights, I'm afraid you will face many setbacks and witness many tragedies. And in the end, you will only see in black and white. But please believe me, that in that monochrome world, there will be a glimpse of fleeting red. And when you make a choice, it will appear once more. What you must do is ponder its significance, then return to the waking world. That's where we all find our answers.
And following this, we fight Dominicus once more, constantly running a train on his ass. It's not even fucking hyperbole, so that's exactly what we did. He then just transforms into fucking End of the Order somehow. I mean, what is this shit?
All the work of creation has been completed. The inevitable day has arrived. The embryo of philosophy will reshape for us all of reality. My being will become the foundation of our paradise. My solemn desire for order.
Hey, whose hand is this? Yeah, but deadass, this is like one of the most beautiful things I have ever seen, dude. Sunday then loses the fight due to everyone starting to wake up, and then, you know, Robin hugs him, because, yeah, family. We got a roll credits scene again, this time it's for real. However, the only unnamed person is now March 7th. Back in reality, we see Aventurine having a phone call with Jade, where it's revealed that Argenti helped Aventurine escape the dream, dude. I love Argenti, bro. He's too fucking wholesome for this universe. Aventurine placed a listening device on us earlier that allowed him to hear everything, and with the revelations we were privy to, Jade reasons this is a powerful chip for the IPC to possess, and their scheme of controlling Penacony once more. See, they would never give that shit up, bro. But she states this all came at the extremely high cost of a cornerstone. In fact, it's such a high cost, Didnt has called a meeting to discuss Aventurine's future with the IPC, to which Jade and him make a bet on whether he'll be demoted or simply kicked from the Stonehearts, to which he just wagers his life for funsies that Didnt will promote him. I mean, alright, boss. Jade then reveals she's currently en route to Penacony to wrap things up. Soon, someone enters Aventurine's room. We then see two defeated IPC guards and find out the intruder is none other than Boothill. Boothill then points his gun at Aventurine, who then asks him one simple question.
Tell me, where is Oswaldo Schneider?
Oswaldo Schneider, for those unaware, is the head of the marketing department. Keep in mind, this gives him about the same influence within the IPC as Didnt, who's the head of the strategic investment department. And thus, the climax of Penacony's story comes to an end. My job is done. I'm tired, boss.